I'm Nathan Griffey. I'm from Clint, Missouri, and I'm a senior here at Evangel. So I'm studying film and broadcasting here at Evangel, but when I'm not in classes, I am doing freelance videography. So weddings, commercials, ads. I'd like to kind of get more into documentary work because I think that's where my passion lies. But yeah, either either I'll be out shooting or I'll be at my desk editing. My Enneagram is a 3, which is the achiever, and so I am constantly trying to find some way to push myself up to a higher level. Part of the reason I'm doing the full Ironman is because it kind of breaks your perception of yourself, I guess is a way of saying it. It's like I envision Nathan Griffey. These are his pros, these are his cons, this is what his weaknesses are, here's his strengths. This is Nathan Griffey. And when you do something like an Ironman, or it doesn't have to be a physical thing, but I think in a way for me it does. Once you get through that and push yourself through that and put in the work to do it, you can kind of break down those barriers of who you thought you were. And still sometimes I'm like, I haven't done it yet, and so the doubts will kind of come in. And I think creatively, I think because of this, I've been able to be like, you know, this vision for this project may be kind of out of our budget or whatever, but now I'm kind of like, okay, so what? Like, we can push past that because we've pushed past things before. Yeah, I think growing up it was always like, I'm gonna make the next Star Wars movie, or go to Hollywood and just live the dream. And I definitely still appreciate movies and narrative work. So I definitely still want to do some films that aren't documentaries because I really appreciate cinematography and script writing and acting. But I think it was, I started with films and then I wanted to do like weddings and commercials and freelance stuff, which is what I'm doing now mainly. And then I did a documentary. I can't remember if it's the Clinton one or there's a different one that was before that. Yeah. But then I did a documentary, and that really was what made it shift. I was like, okay, there's something about, it's more personal when you meet the people and you get to interview them and you spend the day with them, getting footage of them, living their lives. And in the end, I think that is what makes it so impactful, is telling somebody else's story. And I can still use aspects that I like cinematography, making it look good and telling the story that way. But it kind of takes the pressure off of that to be like, no, focus on these people and their story and how you can help them. Yeah, so it was last summer when I got this tattoo, and I've had to explain it to a lot of people, which is fine. That's part of why I got it, especially right here, is it's a good conversation starter. But it says, Rule 12, pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. And at first it's like, why would you get that? Like, that makes no sense. And honestly, like, I'm not a huge cat person. But, so the meaning behind the rule is, well, actually let me start. So Jordan Peterson is a psychologist, author, used to be a professor, and he's become really popular recently just because of his, I think it's his willingness to say what people are thinking but can't articulate. I think he does a really good job at that. He's written a few books, and I've read a couple of them, and one of them is 12 Rules for Life. And I remember reading through the last chapter, which is Rule 12, pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. And the message there is, actually, could I read it? I have it over here.
Yeah.
So might as well get it word for word. make sure I'm still in a pretty good position.
That you are.
Let's see. So yeah, I was reading through. It's actually on like one of the last pages of the book. He says, if you pay careful attention, even on a bad day, you may be fortunate enough to be confronted with small opportunities of just that sort. And maybe when you're going for a walk and your head is spinning, a cat will show up, and if you pay attention to it, then you'll get a reminder for just 15 seconds that the wonder of being might make up for the ineradicable suffering that accompanies it. And I think the reason that was so impactful for me was because I was a pessimist, like hardcore. My parents even called me Eeyore growing up, and I think I just kind of automatically assumed something negative, and that showed up in sports, band, pretty much every aspect of my life. And so that's one of the things that, through counseling and through my own research and friends that have come alongside me, is to stop operating out of a fear-based rationale and these negative thought patterns. And so that's really what this is about. Is I think if you look at it and say you can replace the word cat with something else in your life, and pet, but it's really just about drawing your attention to something good in your life, because it's really easy to get bogged down with, I got tests tomorrow, my ankle hurts from running, I've been feeling sick, money is an issue, I'm having family issues, friendship issues, the weather stinks right now, and whenever you get all these things that stack up like that, it's like no wonder you're feeling so down, and after a while of doing that kind of becomes the normal. And in my senior capstone documentary that I did, it kind of goes into how it actually changes your brain over time into that does become the normal thing for you to think. That's the default position, which is extremely unhealthy. And so the reason I got it here is, one, it's a conversation starter, but also it's a reminder to myself, hey, slow down. What's just one thing that is good that is happening in your life right now? And it's really allowed me to just, slow down and be like, man, my friendships, the weather today may have been rough, but it wasn't all bad. There was some sunshine here. And it's allowed me to be grateful for even just the tiniest things, which has helped me so much just to be able to enjoy life and help others as well. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary of that.